Hey, what's up? This is Anthony with AGT Exotics, and today we're going to clean up our Monocentropus Balfouri communal. It's has a bunch of molts I can pull out, and they have webbed the front of the enclosure here when I was gone for 4 days in Washington doing a combat robot event. And also we're going to be checking 3 molts. We got an Incio Cartella Alavesia. This is the one that molted before the last video, and I just forgot to check it for some reason. It just spaced my mind there. And then we have a Avicularia purpurea that molted. Hopefully that's a female. We're always hoping it's females, right? And also I have one of my Salamapoas erminias. I'm really hoping this one's a female because I do have a male that is already molted out. This one molted when I was gone. It does not look like a male, at least at this point. So hopefully the molt will show it's the female and we'll get a breeding project. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so first we're going to work on the Monocentropus Balfouri communal. So the idea is here to pull out as many problem items as possible, things that will mold, molts, things like that, without getting them to freak out and run for it. Alright, so we got a molt. Oh, we got like a bunch crammed in this corner. That's pretty cool of them. To make it easy for me. There we go. 3 molts all in that corner. Let's see. We've got a few. Dead mealworms they never ate. They kind of dried up and died. Hard as a rock. Here's one of the mealworms molts, probably that one that died right there. These are those giant mealworms. Let's see. Got another crunchy mealworm sitting here. Let's get that one out. The plant got uprooted from the mealworms, but it seems to still be alive. I'm not sure if I want to leave it in here or not. I'm just going to keep watering it. Maybe the roots have stretched down back into the soil. I noticed that before I left for Washington that there was one of the plants was completely pulled out, but it had a root still in the pot. So I guess we'll just leave it like that and keep watering it and see what happens. Alright, so now we're going to try to clean the front of the glass here. Pull up this water dish. One made a little webbed area on top of the water dish when I was gone. So the idea here is to remove the webbing from the front of the glass to encourage them to not web the front. And so far it's been working. Okay, let's see if we can do this without disturbing anyone. Ripping up the stuff right here may get them to freak out a little bit. Especially in this little opening right here, because it's going to be pulling on some of the webbing that's right in the front in that little pass-through I made when I put this enclosure together. And there's always 1 or 2 in that hole right there. So, hope no one books it. They are quite fast. There's a Monocentropus balfouri species. So what we're going to do is come through like this and separate and collect as much of this webbing off of the front as I can, off of the foreground, and then I'll be able to rub off the material or the webbing that is on the front glass fairly easily without possibly getting bit, attacked. If I didn't separate the webbing from the front glass first, then when I do this it would possibly simulate a food item, and we don't want to be a food item for these little Balfouris. It seems like when they're mistaking you for food, the bite is, if they were to actually grab you, I believe the bite would be worse, because you've seen them eat before, how they stab their food multiple times and grab on with their legs. When it's a defensive bite, it's more of just a quick bite and release. So I think if you ever were mistaken for food, the bite would be more severe. That's a problem with my Carabiner Versicolors, is that they often mistake my hand and the tool for food, and they've went for my thumb many times, or my fingers when I'm opening the lid, thinking it's food, and they grab the plastic. It's pretty scary. Alright, so that looks pretty good. We're going to drop the water dish back in, and we're going to fill that up. Wherever that may be. Alright, here we go. And that went pretty smooth. As I drop the lid and create so much commotion that I really would have lost them if they were already trying to climb up out of there, but luckily no one came out. It's funny, is right when I said smooth it fell, right? Let's water that little cactus, a little succulent. Right. Just gonna do a light misting on the back wall. They seem to like to come out and drink off that. I do that like once every couple weeks. Alright, so that's it for the Balfouri communal. Now we're going to move over into the trying to sex those molts that we have. Alright. Alright, so we're going to start off first with the Incio Cretella Alavesia. Get that in there and submerged. Alright. So it only takes a few seconds of soaking it in there. Especially if it's not a very old molt. And that one's just like 2 weeks old, so not that big of a deal. Alright, let's see if we can get a little bit of video of this little beauty. This is such a pretty tarantula, and it is fairly calm. It moves relatively slow. It doesn't really run very fast at all. I'm not sure if that's unique for this one that I have, but it makes dealing with it very easy. I often take the lid completely off when I'm feeding it. Alright, so that should be soaked enough. Alright. That drip dry a bit here. And the way that I do it is I lay it on a piece of white paper. It seems to give a nice backdrop for it and a surface for me to manipulate the molt to be able to read it. Or examine it, whatever you want to call it. It's like I'm reading a palm or something. this one's twisted up pretty good, so we're going to attempt to unwind it. This is the hard part, is getting it to unwind, unwrap without damaging it. Seeing it's so twisted up, I may put it back in the water here. Now this Insiocratella alavesia, it is unique in the tarantula world for its ability to store the sperm through a molt. Most tarantulas, when they molt, they molt out their sperm. So I was looking online trying to find out what the sex organ will look like, and I had zero luck on finding any information on it. So I don't know if it is shaped different or is in a different location or how it's supposed to be. And it's tore right where it should be. So this is not going to work for this molt. So we'll have to wait for the next one. Darn! It's been a long time I've been waiting for that tea to molt. So the area in question that we would be looking at is tore right off. So that's not going to work for that one. Alright, let's move to the next one. Let's do our Avicularia purpurea, one of our beautiful little purple teas. So we'll get that under the water there. Darn, that's a bummer. I've been waiting so long to see what the sex is of this one. It is what it is. Okay, this one doesn't need to be soaked very long at all. This one molted for me when I was gone over the weekend. It's just a little on the small side, so it may be difficult to see. But we'll give it a try. Alright, this one was successfully spread apart to check it out without tearing it, or it wasn't pre-torn like the other one. With the naked eye I cannot quite tell if it is male or female, so we're going to move to the scope and try that method. So we're going to aim our microscope here to we're going to aim it at the bottom section of the forward set of book lungs. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to use our toothpicks to kind of manipulate the molt to see if we can tell what's going on here with this one. So it would be right here where we would find our spermathecas, if there is any. Those are the little pouches that hold the sperm. There does seem to be 2 spermatheca there. They're always in sets of 2. And you can see there's kind of a, let me see if I can get it to roll. Not tear, but roll. Here. See, there's the one that I just moved and the second one I just moved. They're hard to see on this little specimen, but they're right there. I'll keep manipulating it a bit to see if we can get a better view. But yeah, this one is a female. Pretty darn sure on that. Alright, very cool. Doesn't seem to be getting any easier to see. You really got to know. There we go. That's a good view of both of them. Right in the middle of that white zone there. Oh, starting to tear the molt. There we go. There's the 2 right there. Alright, very cool. Move on to the next one. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Now this one is the Salamopoeus armenia, and it's still a little bit damp, so we probably don't even really need to do this. It molted just, I think, yesterday or the night before. When I pulled it out, it was still really heavy, and they're kind of heavier when they've got moisture in them. So that one shouldn't take long to rehydrate. Alright. Hopefully it did not destroy our area we're looking at. The species that I have here seems to do that often. Seems to rehydrate itself with its molt. And in turn they usually tear the area up pretty bad. They kind of chew on it with their fangs and move it around and suck moisture out of it. Alright. That seems to look pretty good. Okay, so I can't tell with the naked eye, so we're going to move over to the microscope. Alright, so I believe we are looking at the right area. Now let's manipulate the molt and see if we can see something. Okay, yeah, we're in the right area. Oh, look at that. Easy to see. And this one's ready for breeding as well. You can tell because the spermatheca are like connected with a really large membrane that goes in between the two. Alright, so get a better view here. Kind of only seeing one spermatheca. Oh, there's the other one. It was on the back side there. Just trying to get it to roll over and be in the open. Alright though, this is 100% a female. And I do have a male that is molted out into his maturity. So we're going to give her like 2 weeks or so to harden off. Maybe a little longer. We're going to try to keep him alive because he's been molted out for quite a while now. I've never heard him tapping. So I don't know if that means anything or not. But he doesn't walk around tapping like the Poecilotheria metallica and the Poecilotheria rufulata do. Alright, so we're going to let this one chill for a few weeks and then breed them. Alright, so that's the Solimopus armenia. Alright, pretty happy with that. I was really hoping this one was a female. Yay! So now we have another breeding project, possibly, as long as the male will stay alive. I did read that the males stay alive for a few months, 6 months or so after they mature, and he's getting close. So hopefully I'll be able to she'll harden off in time to breed. Thanks for checking out this week's video. If you happen to enjoy it, please like, share, and subscribe. There's a subscribe button. There's a video recommended for you. And there's the AG2 Exotics playlist. Alright, see you guys next time.